Hello everyone, welcome to SIG Autoscaling weekly meeting for Monday, the 29th of April, 2024. I think we only have one new item on the agenda for today. And it's from Marco, who's not currently here at the moment. Is there anything anyone wants to raise or Shubham, is there, I can see you around. Is there anything you're wanting to highlight?
Nothing from my side right now.
David?
A quick question, maybe. The work that are ongoing with Carpenter last week in the SIG meeting, I understood that there was another meeting later on. I was wondering if this is a public meeting that folks can attend. I'm asking because we are evaluating also Carpenter at Datadog, and maybe joining could help.
So I think that meeting is intended for a kind of Carpenter and cluster autoscaler developers discussion on implementation. It's not meant for a broader kind of community discussion.
Okay.
But I think sort of separately there is Carpenter community meeting. But I can't tell what the hour is off the top of my head. And also I think one thing I wanted to propose in general would be kind of changing the schedule of the SIG meetings to allow to have meetings shared with Carpenter. But that's maybe a separate discussion that I actually wanted to bring later today. I think basically all the Carpenter contributors are in Pacific time zone. And so we would need to have a more US West Coast friendly hour for this to be a possibility.
Yeah. It will not be me, but there are some colleagues that are looking at the code and potentially would like to bring some contributions like we did in the past for cluster autoscaler. So I don't know if it makes sense for us to attend.
I mean, at the moment, as Patrick said, it's quite focused on like API alignment between the two. So potentially, if you have thoughts and opinions in terms of moving between the two as simple as possible, then it might be worth attending. We are the meetings are being recorded. Last week's meeting is available on YouTube under the usual SIG Autoscaling playlist. So if someone wants to give it a look and see if it would be.
So I guess we basically have very specific agenda, and we don't want to, I think, right now sort of discuss other stuff on those meetings, like that they have clear purpose. But like if you're interested specifically in the agenda, then yeah, I think there is no reason not to join.
Okay, thank you for the link, Guy. I will transmit that to the relevant person, and we will look at the video and we'll ping you. Is that the same on Slack? Is that the same SIG autoscaling Slack that we should use if we want to discuss with the people?
I believe SIG Autoscaling Slack channel would be for entire SIG Autoscaling, including Carpenter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Marco.
Oh yeah, sorry for joining late. I ended the point because I'm seeing that in the recent past, like the VPA PRs are getting more and more. Like as you can see from the query, currently it's like 16. Not all of them are in the state that like we as maintainers like need to do stuff, but many of them are. The way I'm currently trying to approach this is I'm trying to like take some time every week that I try to spend like for upstream VPA work trying to like chop those things away one by one, but more PRs are popping up than I can actually manage to look at. So yeah, this is an ask for help and participation. It feels like a good investment for like help people contribute to the project. So ideally, people stick around and improve the stuff. So yeah, currently this doesn't seem very healthy.
Yeah, it's one of the areas I'm calling out in the annual report for the SIG, us struggling a bit more in terms of health and being able to, as you say, deliver fast PRs, etc. I don't know whether you've got any more information on your side, Maciek.
I don't think I personally have any realistic chance of helping. I can try to ask around at Google if maybe some more people would be able to help, but they are not here in the meeting today, so I can follow up internally essentially.
Great, thanks. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, I think it's something that was definitely highlighted by a few people at KubeCon of like tying into things like the in-place updates, etc. One of the sort of they would like to get more VPA related input on that sort of those pieces of work as well. But yeah, I think as with so many things across the project, there's challenges of the amount of developers at the moment. Cool. Okay. That's all we had on the agenda at the moment. Maciek, do you want to?
Yeah, so I didn't add it to agenda, but as I mentioned earlier, I wanted to just get some feedback on the idea of moving the meetings later in order to essentially be able to have also carpenter team join the meeting, and then we could have one meeting where we could discuss all of our projects. I think that two ways to do this would either be to just move the SIG meeting in general to a later hour, and the alternative would be to do alternating schedule. I guess it really depends on the time zones of everyone attending, right? I guess for me personally and for Google team would be probably okay with moving, say, 2 hours later, which could potentially be reasonable for PST time zone. But obviously there is many more people. So my plan is right now just to essentially float this idea and get some feedback. I will also mention it in the next 1-2 meetings in case there are people not present today. And yeah, if you have any opinions, please let me know.
I think if we were to move it back by 2 hours, so Carpenter's current schedule is they've got meetings every 2 weeks on an alternating time. Last Monday, their meeting was at the time of our meeting if we shifted it back by 2 hours. So effectively, if we moved it by 2 hours once every 4 weeks, then we would have a once every 4 weeks, like where their meeting is already then. So there's probably a good chance that we'd get decent attendance, at least from the carpenter side then. I do feel like an alternating schedule is probably the most is probably the most friendly. I don't know if but equally I don't think a 2 hour shift is like spreading much in the way of enabling more people to join.
Yeah, that was my thought, that probably having alternating schedule with just 2-hour difference doesn't really feel like a very meaningful. I mean, I guess there is a big difference between waking up at 5 a.m. and 7 a.m., but still it's not that big of a difference. So maybe we would want to move it earlier every other week and then later every other week. I think that really depends on the on where everyone is joining from.
Yeah.
I'm from the West Coast. I just woke up, but I just want to clarify. It's 7:18. It's not 5:18. It's not that bad. So even a half hour back or an hour back for West Coast folks, I think would be convenient. And I go to a lot of SIG meetings, and the EU is almost always the one doing the sacrificing. So West Coast can sacrifice one meeting.
Cool. Do we, Matcha, do we want to start pull together something that people can at least comment on if there's in case there's people that want to async, sort of say what times would enable them to attend where they currently can't versus
I think the kind of most obvious ways to propagate this would be to send an email to the mailing group and mention it on Slack, and those are the two communications channels we have. I can take an action item to basically do both today, and yeah, I would say we probably want at least 2 week kind of just opinion gathering period before committing to any decisions. Okay, yeah, I'll take an action item then to mention it on Slack and send an email.
Cool. Thanks. That was all we had on the agenda. I'm just going to skip over the test grid for failures since we discussed that last week. Anything else anyone wants to raise today? Cool. In that case, thanks very much everyone for attending, and see you next week.
Thank you. Bye.